Action turns to a London courtroom for the continuing trial of Diezani Alison Madueke, Nigeria's former Minister of Petroleum Resources. Now, once one of the most powerful figures in Africa's oil sector, Alison Madueke now stands at the center of an international legal battle involving allegations of corruption, money laundering, and the misuse of public funds. The case, unfolding thousands of miles from Nigeria, is being closely watched both at home and abroad, raising fresh questions about accountability, cross-border justice, and how alleged financial crimes linked to public office are pursued on the global stage. Our senior international correspondent, Afua Hagan, is in London and will be bringing us the very latest from the courts. Afua, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. At this stage, Afua, of the proceedings, what is the prosecution really trying to nail down?
At this point, the prosecution is all about trying to put the pieces together and also trying to let us know about intent. It's about control, it's about intent, and it's about knowledge. So today we've been hearing in court from an employee that worked at Thomas Good. Now, to give you some context, Thomas Good is a high-end tableware store. So imagine china, crystal, cutlery, sideboards, dining tables, homewares, things like that. Very high end. And so we've been hearing from him about his interactions with Madueke and also her entourage, so to speak. And so the prosecution right now are trying to show us what Madueke bought, who was buying for it, who was paying it, and some of the amounts involved. We've seen invoices today in court. Some of the amounts quite astronomical for homewares, £18,000, £19,000, £14,334. It was also reported that she said, while shopping for these items, I don't even know why I'm buying this. I have nowhere to put them. So it's all about intent. It's all about the transactions that were made, who made them, and why they were made in the first place. That's what this week really is all about.
Very interesting spender, isn't she? But from what you observed in court, does the defense appear confident, or are there visible signs of strain?
She's definitely a big spender along with her entourage. Look, at the moment, the defense and the prosecution remains composed, they remain methodical, but of course there are going to be those pressure points, and those pressure points is going to be about strategy. It's going to be about what the witnesses remember or don't remember. I mean, this person from Thomas Good, who was giving his evidence today, gave witness statements back in 2017, 2018 about events that happened in 2012. It's quite a long time ago. So those will be the pressure points, making sure that the witnesses have things correct, trying to make sure that they remember who made the transactions and when, who made the payments, what was said at the time of the transactions, who was in Madueke's entourage. It's a very intense phase of the trial. We're in week 3. This is really when it gets very methodical, when it gets really down to the nut can set in, most certainly. So that will again be another pressure point.
And this trial is taking place in London rather than Nigeria. Why does that matter legally and symbolically?
Well, it matters because a lot of the financial activity went through British banks and financial institutions, happened in British stores, right? So it's about the money laundering that took place on British soil. It's also significant because we're talking about financial systems in a global city like London and how it can become entangled in corruption from anywhere else. Also, Madueke has resided in the United Kingdom for a long time. And like I said, because British banks and financial institutions were caught up in the alleged money laundering, and we do have to say that Diezani Alison Madueke has denied all the charges against her. But because a lot of it allegedly took place in London, in the United Kingdom, there is some jurisdiction from the United Kingdom in this case.
So, final question, Afua, what message does this case send about how alleged corruption individuals or individuals as public officials now, how it's pursued internationally?
I think the message this sends is that it doesn't matter where you're from. If you, the United Kingdom, the authorities absolutely will come for you. And in the case, perhaps, of Alison Madueke, will make sure they make an example of you.
Afua, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.